I think a lot of times when we think about learning, we think very traditionally. So learning occurs inside the classroom in the product of one course where you have one professor and a bunch of students. And so we need to think more broadly about learning and how different spaces we have on campus can accomplish this learning.
Well, active learning classrooms versus the traditional lecture halls allow a lot more flexibility for the professor and for the students. Traditional classrooms many times are tiered and set up for lectures and the sage on the stage, if you will. Active learning classrooms is really a shift here at Bowling Green where faculty become more academic coaches because we know learning is retained at a much higher rate when you do.
So I like teaching in the active learning classrooms because it allows us to reimagine what teaching and learning is like. So instead of positioning students as these passive sponges that are soaking in 75-minute lectures in large chunks, rather it reimagines and repositions students as active agents of their own educational experiences.
Faculty can change the setup, small teams, large teams. It gives total flexibility to the faculty.
Part of the fun is adapting to each specific space. 208 Olskamp Hall. The tabletops are whiteboards, so students can write on the whiteboards, which is really neat. And so one of the things I like to do is team-based learning and team-based teaching in there. And then what I'll do is I'll take a picture with my iPhone and then I'll project it up on the screen and then we all look at it together.
Our millennial students, they need to be engaged. They need the opportunity to participate in the learning experience instead of just have that information thrown at them in the form of a lecture.
We have about 60% of our classrooms are active learning classrooms today, but our long-term goal is to make sure that 100% of our classrooms are active learning by 2021.
The classroom climate is exponentially more positive, more exciting. Students come into the space and I think they see it as an investment that the university has in their learning. Students are performing better on exams, they're performing better on papers because we're empowering them to take some initiative in their own educational experience.
The way they're set up simulates real work experience. They work in groups, they collaborate, they have community at their different tables. Being in a classroom that allows students to engage in the content, to write things on the board, to ask me questions, to ask each other questions, that's pretty huge.
Now across all of our academic programs, we have various faculty that are really pushing and really have demanded, if you will, that we have space that allows them to be as creative as possible in engaging students in the learning process.
This is a different kind of space and that sets the tone for a different kind of learning.
BGSU really wants to be a premier teaching and learning institution. Active learning classrooms do that because we are teaching students to critically think and apply, and I can do that much more effectively in an active learning classroom.
Active learning classrooms provide the flexibility for our university to continue to be a leader in student success and will position us for our next 100 years.